Welcome in, everyone. Kash and Matty Talkin Golf Podcast. I'm Steve Cashel. Right alongside is my good golf guru nut, Matt Smith. How you doing, Matty?
Can't beat it. Can't beat. I think we eclipsed 70 degrees. So I don't know what I'm doing wearing this, but times are good here in Chicago. Getting to be good.
But it's typical March and April times where it could be 70 one day and 30 the next, so you never know. But
that is very true.
We've got a lot to do in this show, and we're going to kick it off, though, Matt, with a great guest. His name is Tom Coyne, award-winning writer, publisher. He's authored 5 books, professor. He's a Notre Dame guy, which is close to my heart because that's my favorite. Notre Dame football is my favorite sports franchise, next to the Chicago Bulls.
You've got some good ones there, Steve.
But Tom Coyne is with us, and Tom, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And from the Philadelphia area, but my first question is: all right, you graduated from South Bend at ND, and you've dedicated your life to golf. How does that come about?
Well, it was the great weather in South Bend that inspired me to chase great weather around the world. No, thanks for having me on, guys. And that was very. It's good to know I'm here in friendly waters. I'm glad to hear very nice words about Notre Dame, and thanks for the intro. Yeah, I didn't set out to do this at all. I went, I was an English major at Notre Dame, and I went to their writing program and wrote a novel about kind of the only thing I knew at that time, which was golf, because I grew up caddying and playing here in Philadelphia. So I wrote this novel about caddies, and there you go. Got published and made into a movie, that was enjoyed by dozens around the world, and I was in that golf lane and was really fortunate to be able to put together the only 2 things that I really knew anything about. Writing and golf, and I probably still don't know very much about either one, which is the fun of both of them, that you never quite figure it all out.
Well, I say this jokingly. Just when I thought us guys were well traveled, we bring Tom Coyne on, Golfer's Journal. Tom, we brought a course called America today. But we'll fast forward a few years before we get into some Chicago content here. Tell us about the Sullivan County, for those that don't know, tell us about the signage right behind you of Sullivan County.
Sullivan County Golf Club. Well, thanks for bringing that up, because after A Course Called America, my next book, A Course Called Home, comes out May 5th. I'll always be closing, right?
Yep.
So that book entails my 3-year adventure and continuing adventure as a golf course owner, an accidental golf course owner. Yeah, so somehow I met a superintendent through DMs on something and went to see this 9-hole course in the Catskill Mountains in New York that was going to close, and if I could write something about it that might help them, they're 100 years old, and try and keep this classic old golden age gem going, and I somehow got involved operating it, and then got involved owning it. There's a Chicago angle to the story, and that I somehow ended up owning it with Bill Murray.
Wow.
And I don't want to give away too much of the book. Well, I just ruined the middle of the book. That's the surprise, but you'll figure that out pretty quickly. So it's been an incredible adventure, for a golfer to go from because you had that daydream, what would it be like if I had my own golf course, right? And I do, and we did. We got there. It's been quite an experience. Lots of ups and downs, but I think I'm excited for the book to come out and for people to sort of get to experience, what it's like when you come home and tell your wife that we bought a golf course. That's, it's not, you'll immediately understand the state of your marriage at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people are golf course owners. Not a lot of people, but there are golf course owners, and they don't write a book about it, which is kind of interesting. You can share that with other people. Let's talk about, you've been all over the world, Tom, but you have been to Chicago as well. What jumps out about courses you have played here in our neck of the woods?
Well, what jumped out immediately when I was doing a course called America, I wanted to play golf in all 50 states, and I wanted to play every course to ever host the U.S. Open, so that by doing that, I would, by default, sort of be walking through American golf history. And what I quickly discovered about Chicago is you seem to have most of them. There are a lot of courses in Chicago that have hosted the U.S. Open. It's at least, is it more than 6? Gosh, there's so many. So, I mean, when you're talking about Glenview and Chicago Golf, Olympia, I mean, the list, there's a lot on the list. So that was really interesting to me right away. I don't think people in Chicago even realize that some of these courses hosted U.S. Opens.
Sure.
Midlothian, Skokie. So when I got there, it was tricky, and not all of them are terribly easy to get on. I mean, most of the work in this book was trying to get myself out onto these golf courses. But I also wanted to sample, okay, if I'm going to play a place that, maybe, if you read the book, you might not ever get to play, tell you what that's like, but also go to places that people can play. So Canal Shores, Downers Grove, those were places I definitely wanted to include in the story, and I probably write more about them than I do some of the big name courses, actually. So Chicago golf is I've always found golf in the Midwest, just the abundance of it and the quality of it and the age of it is so wonderful and kind of crazy considering how short the seasons are. You could say the same for where I am in Philadelphia. We have all this golf and we only get to play it 4 or 5 months a year. But just an abundance of great golf and golf crazy people. So much good golf.
Totally. Hey, can we, I want to dig in on the public side, right? We'll go right back to Canal Shores. Love the spot. Excited to get out there this year, as they've done a lot with it here recently. I'm reading your book right now. I jumped into the Chicago section, and your description, which I loved, and I want you to just elaborate a little bit on it and also share if you've experienced something else like this. You said that the fairways are only slightly wider than the L tracks above the course. Just narrow, right? Tight. So I want to know, is that an exaggeration? Or tell us more.
I think they're more narrow than that, actually. It was understatement. No. There's always a good. You gotta have I'm an Irish writer or a writer of Irish descent. There's going to be some hyperbole. So, I mean, Canal Shores is for its yardage and what it is, and you think I'm just going to go out and tear this thing up. I never have, and very narrow. I'm excited. I know they've done a ton of work there. And I haven't been out since. When I went around in the book, I actually got to do it with Joel Murray, who played a lot of golf there as a kid. He'll admit he's not sure if he paid for any of it. But in the Murray brothers, I mean, Bill ran the Snack Shack, and so they had a history and legacy there. So it was really fun to go around with Joel and get some of the stories. But I mean, it's completely unique. There's no other downtown. I mean, it's not downtown. I know it's not sort of central Chicago, but it's surrounded by a city.
Yeah. And
I don't know if there's any other course surrounded by a city in quite that way. I mean, you have like a St. Andrews that's in the middle of a town. We were just down at a course in Lima that is surrounded by the city, but the course itself isn't interrupted by the city. Right. So to go walk past the fire station and get lost there trying to find the next tee, that's totally unique. So you are literally playing through Chicago, or Chicago people would correct me and say where it's Evanston.
Right? Yeah. It's so close.
Yeah.
You're just a skip out of Chicago.
So
you're there. Right. Very
so
cool.
You're playing through this urban environment. Crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes it used to be used as a parking lot for Northwestern football games because the stadium is right there. So that's crazy.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the Legion, right up above the American Legion shared clubhouse.
Yeah, on the
Is that
second
right?
floor.
I think I got that
That's
right.
also unique as well.
Yep, yep.
1,000% you're right, because Joel insisted we go up there and have their pizza, which was actually quite good.
According to the book, you bought the pizza that day. Is that right?
I did buy the pizza. I did buy the pizza that day.
Hey, Tom, you know what really impresses me? Visiting with Tom Coyne. All right, award-winning journalist, author, professor, editor. And you really went, I read this, from a 15 handicap. All right, a lot of people can play golf. They're golf course architects. I don't think about them being, scratch golfers, or maybe a plus. Is Tom Coyne really a plus? You went from a 15 handicap to a plus golfer. Is that right? And do you credit Dr. Jim Suddy, who's been a longtime friend of mine for 35 years? I took lessons with Dr. Suddy, who was at Cog Hill forever. Now he's down in Florida. But tell me about your playing experience.
Yeah. Remember what I was saying about hyperbole? No, I'm just kidding. Dr. Jim Suddy. So that was for a book I did called Paper Tiger, where, and I'll be honest, when I was a younger golfer, a junior golfer, I was probably a 3, 4, or 5 handicap.
Okay.
When I was playing seriously, and then I stopped playing, and I couldn't break 90, or I'd shoot whatever. And then thought, okay, what if I gave up everything and tried to take my shot at playing next level golf? And that was the premise of my second book, to go and see how good I could get if I just played golf. And so I moved to Florida, played golf 562 days in a row. This was before everyone was doing this online, which I think now they are. This was before social media. I wonder what that would have been like doing it. I probably wouldn't have even written a book. I just would have posted about it on Instagram every day. But I went and worked with, I talked to a lot of different coaches, and Jim Suddy, Dr. Jim Suddy was the one who I vibed with the best and was the most into what I was doing, and really, man, getting to work with him every day down at Twin Eagles in Naples. And then I did come up in the summer in Chicago to work with him as well. That was such a treat.
Wow. Hey, just keeping it Chicago a bit longer here, I wouldn't mind, or we wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more on your take on Belmont, or as you said, Downers Grove, right? The original Chicago GC.
Yeah.
A little there, and then I got to ask you, have you played any other public golf in the Chicagoland off the top, that you can recall? Some other courses out our way?
I think the totality of my public golf would be Canal Shores, and is it Belmont or Downers Grove? Or do you
Belmont. They're calling it Belmont right now.
They're calling it
Belmont. It's public. Yep.
I think that's the extent of it. I'm probably forgetting something, I'm sure. But loved Belmont.
Mm-hmm.
And, because I knew the history of it. This is one of the original places a golf ball was ever struck in America, and so, significant in its ties to Chicago Golf Club. And then, so you roll up and you expect one thing, this historic place, and then it's just this incredibly accessible golf course. And then it's great too. I mean, the topography is wild. I think
it is.
You can get if the Midwest gets any knock for golf, sometimes it's a little flatter, the topography, and that place is not. So I was immediately excited just pulling into the parking lot.
Yeah.
Great welcome, super accessible, friendly people. What a great resource to have, for a city to have a place like that. It must be packed all the time because it's just good and accessible, and it's the kind of place. Between that and Canal Shores, those are the places you wish every city had places like those.
So great. You're right. And Tom, I got to say, and Steve's got a question here in a moment, but I do feel, and I'm glad that we're talking about this. I feel as a local guy out here, I'm not saying they're undervalued, those spots, but there's so much to be said. There's so much that can be said. So I'm glad we're doing that today.
Visiting with Tom Coyne.
They should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tom, on the other end, from Canal and Belmont, totally opposite in our area here in the Chicago area, there's Medina Country Club, the gold standard, and Olympia Fields. And are you more, I heard you visited both, are you more impressed by the clubhouses or the golf courses?
Well, both of those two, I mean, I was just struck by the scale of both of them, right? I mean, big places, multiple courses, and yeah, the Medina clubhouse is right. What do you take the picture of, the clubhouse or the golf course? And I'm Olympia Fields, great, great golf, absolutely. But I was just fascinated by the locker room and how there were like sections within the locker room that had their own esprit de corps. And like, so cultures within the locker room culture. And like, I thought that was so cool. So anytime you walk into a place and you haven't seen it before, and I hadn't seen that, where each like section had a name to it. And I don't know how active guys were saying that still is, but like section would play against section, and they had their own little cultures within the larger locker room. I thought, wow, that's truly unique. And it speaks to, I mean, it really speaks to just what a huge golfing population you have to maintain and have places that big and prosperous and famous and wonderful, and how just golf crazy, Chicago is. And that's, so between those are places that everybody, those are names people know. But then, I mean, there's so many, like the Glenviews, the Skokies, Old Elm, like there's just like a lot of places that I've visited where I just love playing golf out in Chicago.
On that, going back to Skokie for a moment, and we're getting close here on time, but with Skokie in the book you talk about, and I hadn't heard this until you're writing, along the driving range, right? You got your driving range, and it was the 18th tee shot. It's lined with bells, right? You said they were on posts, some bells.
Yep.
If you hook a ball as a righty, I take it, right? If you hook a ball so bad, you're going to knock a bell, and you got to go out there and ring the bell. So I did want to know if you rang the bell that day and traveled out.
I rang the bell.
You rang it.
I absolutely rang the bell. I can't remember if it was a hook or a cut. And I hope they still have that feature, because, again, it was one of those things. I've never seen that anywhere before, and it's actually a really good idea.
It
right?
is.
Wherever you have a driving range and a golf hole intersecting, ring a bell, let everyone on the practice tee know, hey, coming in to play my shot. It's a lot better than making it out of bounds. I rang my bell with shame and pride, because I got the full experience.
More places ought to do that if they're not. It's unique. Well, it then won't be unique if someone else is doing it, but it's practical. Come on,
it is.
I like it.
My driving range at home, and big tournament this year, I was out of bounds by a foot just because I was in the driving range, and broke me heart.
Yeah,
a bell would have saved my day.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Ravislow in Homewood, one of my favorite places, the old private club, Donald Ross design we talk about.
Yep.
They have two bells, okay, on the course.
Where are they at?
One,
I've been there.
on, one on 8 and one on 17.
What are those bells about? Yeah,
because of the hills. So if you hit your drive, no one can see you that you might be in the fairway. You got to ring the bell, let him to know you hit your second shot. And then on same thing on 17, because it's a blind shot almost uphill. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
What if you don't hit fairways? What if you're a guy like me that you just don't hit fairways?
If you're in the way of the tee shot, you ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Tom, what'd you say?
You just need a horn.
A horn.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
You wander around the golf
course.
We'll
carry one of those.
Keep yourself safe. Great golf courses. Every course should have a bell, because on blind shots, we have one at Sullivan County. I have a soft spot for blind shots, so they do work well when you're cresting a ridge, for sure.
It was Cove Seas. I just got done reading Cove Seas with the Rock. The Rock.
Where's that?
That's out in
that's
Scotland.
In Scotland.
Yeah.
In the Highlands, and you get their bells there because you're always behind a rock or hiding in a cove, or that is a wild, fun, wonderful 9-holer in Scotland. And there's some bell pictures in the Golfer's Journal.
It's a fun, yeah. This recent one, that was Andy, right? It was Andy and Angie?
Andy and Angela.
Yeah, Angela.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say,
Angela and Andy, they were
yeah,
the best.
Tom Coyne, the Golfer's Journal. I've seen it. I didn't put two and two together. Matt said, "Oh, we're gonna have Tom Coyne on." I'm like, "Oh, that's a beautiful. What do we call it? A publication, a journal. It's not a magazine, but it's a beautiful
It's not
publication.
quite a magazine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We refer to it as a book/magazine. That is no ads and or minimal ads, and golf storytelling, great photography, and long stories, and we don't really. No swing tips or like gossip from the tour. It's all about great stories, and it's been awesome to see it grow. And a lot of our members are in Chicago, and it's great to come out and play with them on our events tour when we do.
Yeah, and Matt's a member, and it's really cool. So you can become a member, and then you're part of the Broken Tea Society. Is it? Explain that, Tom.
Yeah, that's what the members started to call themselves. Our logo is this broken tea that I have on my shirt here, and it was on the cover of our first edition, and our subscribers started calling themselves the Broken Tea Society, and we ran with it. And so now there's really a community has grown up around the publication. That is, we do 50 events a year around the world where we play golf together, we travel together, we have an app where we talk together. So it's more like an online virtual golf club membership. Than just what it started out, which was a magazine, because everyone was getting rid of print, and we thought, before Golfer's Journal wasn't my idea, but the publishers thought, hey, let's people still want some print in their lives, let's give it a shot, and it turns out that they do.
Y'all want to call it? You're calling it slow media,
Slow media.
That's what That's Brendan, right? Brendan.
That's Brendan Thomas.
That's
the
Brendan
legend himself. There is a place, the faster the world gets, I think the more we do need a little pause and a little break once in a while to sit down with something in our hands and read it.
Hey, Tom, we're going to wrap with one quick thing, not at all Chicago related. You walk, and just brief here, but you walk so much more of your golf than you ride. Is that still the case?
It is still the case, though I will say I'm not as religious about it as I was when I did like the Ireland book, where I didn't take transportation for 4 months, even between the golf courses, where I walked the whole country on foot. So that was like an extreme adherence to walking,
a little bit,
that I would never recommend to anyone, because now my right hip is shot. But if I have the preference, I'm always walking so much. And I grew up as a caddy, so I support I believe in supporting caddies, and I just think it's better for my golf game moving at that pace. Cart moves me along too quickly to the next shot. I need time to digest, prepare myself.
I feel it. Steve?
Final question I have to ask, because you've been all over the world. Favorite course? Does one jump out?
My favorite place to play golf in the world is the Carn Links in Belmont, County Mayo, in the west of Ireland. It's where it feels the most natural to me and the most wondrous. When I arrive there, I exhale and feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. I spend a lot of time there.
It's beautiful. Well, hey, Tom, we just really thankful to have you on, spend some time with us, get into our market, our Chicago, and we like to say, Tom, with Chicago, and we're extending our reach into the upper Midwest, right? With who's tuning in and beyond, if there's Chicago connections. But we know you in reading your book actively right now, being a part of the Golfer's Journal and the Broken Tea Society. It's just been very fun, man. I sent you a message, and this is a guy that responded back. Man, I was thrilled to see you respond back so quickly and say you'd spend some time with us.
Well, thank you for having a great golf area. The course called America. The heroes in that book, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois. That they are really the. When I rank my golf states in the back, they're way up there, because there's so much good golf out there.
Totally.
Great stuff, Tom. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Best of luck with everything.
Thanks.
See you,
for
Tom.
having me.
Thanks.
Our thanks to Tom Coyne. A life worth living because of golf. He just loves the game, doesn't he?
Guy is a golf nut, and so glad we've got we've had this conversation with him, and we did not in any way have to just dig for more content on Chicago. The guy has been everywhere and has played, I mean, some of the neatest spots. And between the public side and the private side in Chicago, he's seen a lot out here. So it's really cool. Really cool.
Well, and I like, Matt, also, you ask so many people what's their favorite course in the world. So many say Pebble Beach, Augusta National, although a lot of people haven't played Augusta National, maybe what percent in the country, or St. Andrews in Scotland, but he picked some remote place in Ireland, which is really cool.
So cool.
I want to look that up again, and if I ever get out to Ireland, I've been to Scotland, not Ireland yet.
Off to Carn. I think
Very
he said
cool.
County, did he say Cork or Mayo? Oh, one of the counties.
Sounds like a good sandwich.
It sure does. Steve, who do we get? We got Keeping It Local coming up, and why don't we jump at it?
Yes, Keeping It Local, sponsored by Pro Circle Golf Center. Great group of gentlemen and ladies out on Route 12 in Spring Grove, Illinois. Pro Circle Golf Center has been around a long time, 1959. And so over 80 years of experience. The shop has been awarded Top 100 status 4 times in club fitting. They also have a great practice facility, grass tees, sand bunker, putting green, separate chipping area. And Gary Shastel was one of our guests not long ago here on Kash and Matty Talkin Golf. He works with Doppler radar and video, of course, to explain how a student golf swing should work. And he's really, really good at what he does. No cookie cutter lessons, great customer service. Again, you can reach them at 815-675-2747. They're located in Spring Grove, Illinois. So keeping it local, Matt, let's go back to the 2026 Chicago Golf Show at the Rosemont Convention Center, Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. And boy, what a hit. I mean, there was a buzz in the air. It was really a lot of fun.
We had a time there. I ran into Shastel. Shastel's all around. But yeah, we had from Thursday night, you and I getting to go and spend some time on Thursday night.
Yeah, they had kind
Sunday.
of a special VIP party for media. Saw so many of my old media friends, guys that have been around the business.
You made some nice introductions for me. You know, Maddie got to break into the Steve's high society, we'll call it, of local golf media, and just some fun people. So
well, and Matt had a big putt that night. They were having this was it 80 feet, and
80
they had
feet.
it all throughout the show, but they had the first time to win a couple of dozen golf balls from Tour Edge. Tour Edge has their new golf balls out. They look terrific, and I happened to take some video when Matt was putting. I don't know why I didn't putt. I was thinking about that. I was like, it was just you go and
you
putt.
were on camera duty, and you just took camera duty.
I did,
off,
and Matt drained the putt on probably what was your second or third try? Third try. Yeah. Not bad. They let you go, 3-4 times you wanted, and they rang. What was it? It was almost like being at a Blackhawks.
It's the
game.
horn, yeah. They fire the horn just like they do throughout the whole show. So yes, that was a 1-for-3 experience, and that was hitting the. I joked about this, but maybe Tour Edge needs to put a one of those putter models in my hands, because 1-for-3 on 80 feet ain't bad.
Yeah, it was a Tour Edge putter, and you win 2 dozen Tour Edge golf balls, which is a really nice prize. CDGA did a wonderful job. Joey Chitwood was there. He's running the President's Cup of Medina, so a lot of big names. Matt McEntee was there with Troon Golf. Tim Clark, president of Tour Edge. So a lot of fun. We had a great time. But then you were able to go to the show next couple of days. I stopped over there one time, but it was a great show.
Yeah, I might as well have brought a sleeping bag. I was there a lot from Thursday through Saturday. I didn't check back in on Sunday. But going back to the longest putt for just a moment, I traded some texts with Mike Gilligan afterwards, CDGA, and I wanted to know how many putts were made from Friday through Sunday.
Yeah.
On the
80 feet, right?
The 80-footers, right. There were his count had 152 putts made.
Wow.
It looked like, he broke it down by day. Saturday was the hottest day with 56 putts dropping, and Friday was the lightest with 45. The show was awesome.
By the way, I told the Tour Edge guys on Thursday, because a lot of people were making that putt, And I said, guys, you're giving away too many golf balls. They were giving 24 golf balls away for each person who hit the putt. And that's a lot of golf balls to give away. I said, you should reduce that to a couple of sleeves or maybe 12, but 24. But they have a little kickoff of this new golf ball.
Promoting. And,
play the ball. But Tour Edge was very, very generous.
And as a CDGA member, if you checked in during the show, you'd get a sleeve as well with of the Tour Edge balls. So no, I mean, you gotta get them in people's hands, and then people like myself and everyone out there, we're gonna lose them, and then somebody's gonna find them, and they live on, or they disappear. But yeah, I thought that was good on their part. It was what I was saying, a really busy. Just felt like a really, really like extra busy show this year.
It was buzzing.
For one, extra busy. The stage presence and everyone on stage was great, and the exhibitors from. I mean, every year you get your assortment of exhibitors, but I've said this off air to a handful of people already. It just felt like to me the highest quality Chicago show I've been to and I've gone to the last 17, 18, or 19 straight. Mm-hmm. It just felt like the best to me. Nice. So yeah, I mean, it was well done. I give so much credit. Lot to run there, and I got to meet Tom Corcoran. He puts on the show.
Golf show, yeah.
He came up to me. I love this, Steve. He came up to me. I told you about this, but he just let me know that he's a listener of what we do with Kash and Matty. Appreciates what we're doing, and just one of countless great people that I felt like I ran into, which was just great. I love that stuff. You know I do.
Yep, and it's good for Chicago golf. It's good for golfers in our area, so that there's a Chicago golf show that comes around. There's really only one. I think they still do one in the Orland Park area.
I think so, just a few weeks earlier, Then you got
smaller scale, obviously. Yep. But you know what? And I love it for the people in the south suburbs. Anything around golf in this area to promote it, right?
Yeah.
To pick out destination spots, to show some new equipment. Take a golf lesson from an Illinois PGA Section Pro, and the CDGA did a wonderful job with everything they do in golf. Congrats to all.
I'll make a few mentions. Like we saw St. George, Utah, the Ledges, a resort from St. George. I hadn't seen them.
Beautiful area.
So neat. Lasonia and all of Green Lake,
Wisconsin
came out. I talked to some folks from Mississippi, Minnesota. Alabama every year brings out their tourism team. There's a guy, I shared this on LinkedIn, but there's a guy, Easton, that comes out with his unbelievable. I was about to say outrageous. It really is an unbelievable hat. He's got the amazing mustache, and he's got a little more hair than me, just long hair.
Everyone does.
They do, you know. We're looking for a sponsor here for some hair product for Steve.
I'm glad I have it.
If you're listening, we'll take the product for guys like Steve, not Matty. But anyways, that's what we had to say about the show. Great year in it, Steve. Let's turn to Calumet and President's Cup updates. I think you had just a few things you wanted to
I got
say.
some inside information from people help running the President's Cup, and it's kind of interesting. By the way, build-out begins April 6th. The build-out, okay? Remember the tournaments in late September, and the build-out begins the infrastructure April 6th. So if you get a chance to go on Medina 3, if you're lucky enough to be a member or a guest or maybe participating in a charity event, I know we have the Knicker Open out there first week in June, and you can buy a spot in the tournament and play Medina 3, the brand new Medina 3.
With build-out, with the build-out
going up. This will be 2 months in, so the build-out's going to be amazing. But a couple other facts I found out. President's Cup is only going to have 10,000 fans per day on the ground. Okay? Compare that, Matt, to the Players' Championship. Every year, well, at least in 2026, they had 220,000 tickets sold, an average of 31,000 fans per day. This is 10,000, so it's not going to be overcrowded. Get your tickets to the President's Cup if you haven't already, because it's going to be a tight group spread over a lot of acres at Medina 3, but only 10,000 tickets sold per day, and that includes the practice rounds and through the event. So very interesting. And then you brought up Calumet Country Club. There was a nice some talk going that VIP night of the Chicago Golf Show, where I ran into a couple guys from the CDGA and a couple of golf, not influencers as far as social media goes. All right, these guys might not even know what social media is. No, I'm joking. But some of the older gentlemen who are trying to keep Calumet Country Club alive in the Homewood area. It's a old Donald Ross course. It's been open and closed for the last couple of years. One gentleman owns it, all right, and the owner is trying to get a variance so he can sell it and make it an industrial property. They said maybe a Home Depot's coming in, a trucking company, industrial something. And there are people in Chicago that are trying to keep it alive and keep it a golf course. Okay, open space right now is what it is. So they can't. The owner just can't build whatever he wants or sell it to someone that wants to build whatever he wants.
For now, yeah.
Unless he gets a variance to change it. But I'm talking Wadsworth Construction, Kemper Sports Management, CDGA. Some of the heaviest hitters of golf in Chicago are collaborating and trying to keep it as open space and keep it a golf course. Maybe sell it to someone else. Maybe you redo a couple of the holes. Bring it back so that we can play golf again at Calumet. It was a long-time private country club. It's now public. I don't even know if they're opening this year or not. It was probably up to the owner.
A lot of talks. I mean, But
I love what these guys in Chicago, when I hear Wadsworth and CDGA and Kemper Sports Management trying to keep it alive as a golf course. That's good stuff.
You get the right people. You get all the right people around it. So something to follow. Yeah. It's something we've, this is our third time touching on Calumet, but that update there says there is, hope is a word, right? There's hope on the golf side.
Absolutely.
So that's a good update there. Here's something I saw that I wanted to touch on. Penrose out in Geneva. Brewery that I love. Okay,
you love all breweries.
I do, most all, not every one of them, but Penrose is one I do love. They have partnered with the Illinois PGA, where they are rebranding. They've done this. This has happened, and this will be the year of it. They've rebranded 3 of their drinks, an IPA and 2 hard seltzers, to be Illinois PGA themed for one. But what I love about it is that right here it says a portion of the proceeds from every sale this year will go straight into the Illinois PGA Foundation. Nice. So just nice that they're connecting to golf in that way and contributing. So we see what you're doing, Penrose. I'm just a fan. Good. That I want to give them a shout there. Steve, why don't you ask me? This will be fun. Why don't you ask me about those amazing what do we want to call them? Canisters, thermoses.
The old thermos where, you used to, right? Dad went to work and he brought a thermos of coffee. These things are amazing. You met these guys at the PGA show in Orlando.
These go back to Orlando, yeah.
All right.
High Camp. This is called High Camp.
I've now a friend with them on Facebook, and Matt, we got sent a couple of these things, and you know what? What happened when you first showed me? Did I not say amazing?
I'm like, you said something like your wife would love these, and you love them.
Yes, you could put a bottle of wine in there. I mean, this is high. It's it's high society, but I'm thinking golf course,
sure,
right? Wherever you are, like take one of these and put it in your golf bag.
Yeah,
fill it up with you. A lot of people have birdie juice, right? You make a birdie, you have a little shot,
sure,
and you pass it around the foursome. I play in a couple groups that do that, so every time someone makes a birdie, and maybe you go through the home round without it.
They're calling that one the torch.
That's perfect.
That's the torch, and check it out. That one just pops open like that.
That's cool.
That's almost too convenient. But you fill it up from the bottom.
They're heavy as far as good quality. They are cheap. Very, very well made. I was really impressed when you brought it out. It's got the little cover too, right? Almost like it's in a little blanket, so to speak.
They're really cool. wool containers. This feels it's kind of feeling QVC like. You and I have maybe we have a future in QVC.
Maybe.
No, this is Maggie with their team, and Nick, going back to the PGA show, got some of this stuff in our hands, and it's just so impressive.
It is.
It's such an impressive product. It's high quality. I like and once again,
Little
sorry.
magnets.
Well, sorry listeners that you're not seeing this, but I would say jump on to YouTube or we're probably going to reel this as well and give it a peek on our other channels. But like, if you're listening, I would suggest jumping in to see this, what we're talking about, High Camp. And for the listeners, like, I'm just going to sit it here a moment. Like, nice stuff. Thankful that Maggie and Nick and the team got Steve and I each hooked up here.
Yep, absolutely.
Some good stuff.
Absolutely.
Something else I want to call attention to is something I'm so excited about because it's my second time playing in. We've talked, I think, at least once on this show about Kankakee Elks. It is, gosh, I can't tell you how many times they've ran the event, but they do something called March Mudness.
Nice.
End of March, a competitive environment with No Laying Ups, which is a group I'm a part of, an online community, a podcast. But No Laying Up has a Chicago chapter, and they put on their first event of the year. They call it March Mudness. They partner up with Kankakee Elks. I'm joining on March 28th, but just looking forward to seeing Kankakee Elks again. Steve, have you? I think you've played it, or have you not played Kankakee Elks?
Boy, maybe 30 years ago. It has been a long time.
All right, well, we gotta get you back out there. That's
Absolutely.
It's a fun routing, and similar to what Tom Coyne was saying just earlier, similar to Belmont and Downers.
Okay.
You see,
Very unique
there's
course.
elevation. Yeah, there's elevation changes and a very like memorable routing, and just the topography is a little different for Illinois.
Good.
It's
Not
Kankakee
March
Elks.
Madness, March Mudness.
Mudness. Yep. Steve, you want to say where are we at today? You know what? Let me lead it. Brandon Holtz, just for a moment.
Okay.
We want to give our guy Brandon, as we're keeping it local here for a little bit longer. Brandon, we've been following along with his Masters prep. He's our guy that we had on a few
U.S.
episodes.
Mid-Am champ.
He's less than, is it less than? Just almost exact. Well, by the time this airs, it will be
weeks.
a few weeks out from his
Masters.
Masters go. So, what do you think, Steve?
Masters debut.
Is he your pick?
No, but I hope he makes the cut. He's got a great attitude about it. Came out of nowhere, Cinderella story. And
Yeah.
here's a guy who is going to play in the Masters after winning the U.S. Mid-Am. But I think the greatest thing about it, you get to practice, as he told us 4 or 5 times
Yep.
at Augusta before the tournament to really
Guy's been
get a
prepping.
feel for the greens and the topography and the fairways, whatever. And I think it's great. He's a great guy, and we wish him the best. And I'm hoping he makes the cut.
Well, makes the cut or not, he's playing in the Masters, and then we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him out at Shinnecock as well. So Brandon's got a unique and fun year ahead. Few more stories before getting into cashing out. Troon Golf, out at the Chicago Golf Show. I loved this. They brought in 3 of their Hawaiian courses.
Nice.
Their Hawaiian properties. I found that unique. One Missouri-based resort as well, which I thought was really neat that Kevin Dooley, who's it's Kevin and Grace that run a lot of the marketing and the sales side there.
Okay.
Their focus was like they did highlight. They were highlighting their Chicago, the Chicago Park District courses, the Forest Preserve courses, but they were sure just to mix up their portfolio and make sure that the entire audience had a bit of a pick of the litter in terms of who they'd want to get to know out at the Chicago Golf Show. Did you run into them by chance or no?
I did not.
Not over the weekend. Yeah,
Absolutely. But Destination Golf, okay. I mean,
the Hawaiian stuff stood out to me.
Yeah.
It stood out to me. They had
Have you played golf in Hawaii?
I've never been to Hawaii.
Oh,
so no, I haven't golfed out there. No,
I've been
none
probably
of it.
5 times, and you have to stay for a number of days. I spent my honeymoon out there. I did not play golf, but I've been there many times, a couple times with the golf scene, other times with buddies, and golf is phenomenal. It's just so much fun in Hawaii. I love Hawaii golf.
Well, just getting the chance to like chat with the Troon crew and get a little like
They're
taste
great.
of what's possible.
They have like 900 courses, and they are spread throughout the country and Hawaii, you know, and it's fantastic. Hawaii, part of the country, of course, but long way away. But it's great, though. Troon Golf does a great job.
Yeah. We back to the Chicago show, there was just so much happening. There was so much happening that we can't just gloss over, and especially being the Chicago show here. This was my first time running into Walter Liss, Chicago Golf Report. You and I have talked about
Legend.
Walter enough. And he, with his website and with his podcast and what he's doing, it was so great to run into him for the first time. And I just want to call people's attention to check out his site, jump over to his socials, because he had an exclusive. He did a 20-minute interview with the Megalodome team, the massive Oswego 4-dome indoor 9-hole golf course.
Yes.
He spent 20 minutes with the team, just posted it just a few weeks back. So if you're looking for a little more on the Megalodome, a few updates, I did have the chance. I got to meet their team. That was fascinating. But I think Walter's angle and Walter's conversation is worth everyone's.
Walter
Chicago
Liss.
Golf Report. Go ahead. Yeah.
Last name is Liss, and he's a wonderful individual. I've been on his podcast before, but he is, we've had a number of people, unfortunately, pass away that were in Chicago media that covered this stuff on an everyday basis, including my longtime friend Rory Spears, bless his heart, and who passed away about a year ago. But Walter has been just phenomenal, like Rory was, telling the Chicago golf story. And he digs into things like Calumet Country Club and, the history of these courses, but especially what's going on with golf in the area. So Walter Liss, again, last name Liss, but as Matt said, dig into his social media and keep up with what's going on here in our area. Yeah.
And hey, before we get into cashing out, we're giving Katie. We got Katie with Human Interest, and then we'll talk a little betting and our picks. Okay,
please.
Yep, Human Interest. So if your 401k provider doesn't answer the phone, what's your recourse? Human Interest offers the industry's first customer experience guarantee. We make bold, transparent commitments to fast, reliable service, or we make it right. Guaranteed. Demand better service. Learn about our customer experience guarantee. Call Katie. That's Katie Francis. As a reminder, her number here is 708-745-1447. Her email is kathleen.francis@humaninterest.com.
Also, thanks to a couple other sponsors, the Shack Indoor Golf Club in Glenview. Go see our guy Nick. That's a phenomenal place. Great bar, great food. He's kind of a food guy, but he also has tremendous simulators. And I've got a couple other places, right?
We got just one more, for today. It's Smart Golf and Fitness.
Oh,
Joe, Tommy, places. The rest of the crew. And follow along. Recently, some of their members have been on a part of the Dormy network of clubs. They've been on a trip playing one of their members' tournaments. So not only, top tier fitness and golf instruction, but also
best I've ever seen.
Yep, but a membership base that travels together.
That's cool.
And plays in tournaments. So Joe was just messaging me about some of the details on that.
Yeah, whether you're in a private member of a private club or maybe don't have the funds, and maybe this is the next step before you can join something, get into Smart Golf and Fitness. The best facilities I've ever seen for anybody indoors.
Steve's seen a few facilities as well. The best? Yeah,
it really is.
Yep.
It's in Northbrook. It's in Lisle. Go visit. Take a tour.
They got a city one as well. They do have one downtown.
I've been to that one, but we did.
Nor have I. I haven't gone out to the city, but I know they got one.
We did a feature on the golf scene for the one in Northbrook, and I was totally blown away. Really good guys.
Yep, totally. Hey,
Cashing out
with Steve's namesake. By the time this airs, we will be previewing the Valspar Championship. Steve, tell us who you like, why. Whatever you got there.
Well, again, this is a tournament that I pick winners before this whole PGA Tour season begins. So back in January, right before the Sony Open, I have to take one player per week that's a national media. My pick is Sam Burns. Okay,
all right.
And I do a little research on each guy. I like the way Sam is trending right now. He's been playing well, I think, especially early on. But I picked him for the Valspar. You're hoping that it's a guy that plays in the tournament, You have a little bit of a track record. You look for a guy, if you're betting, that maybe finished second or in top 5 last year, because good chance he's going to return. Because who did I have? Russell Henley a few weeks ago and didn't even play. but that was after a number of great tournaments,
Sure.
after Pebble Beach and Waste Management. He decided to take a week off, but, I lost with that
Can't
one.
control that, unfortunately. But I really like the Sam Burns pick there.
Good player.
Does Valspar do they draw a really top tier field these days?
Every
I think
now
they
and
draw
then.
a pretty good one, don't they?
They do. But again, it's getting close to the Masters, so people are starting to pick, and it's after the Players' Championship, so guys want a week off, or maybe they're going to go visit Augusta. So you got to be careful, those guys in the top.
A lot of water on that one.
10.
That's a Florida track. I believe it's Innisbrook Resort. But when I think of the Valspar, I just think of, I personally, if I was out on that course, I would be. You just see a lot of water left, right, and it's a true target placement. You got to place your ball in some tighter fairways, and you can't miss too wide. So my driver would be. I'd lose a lot of those. What I'm trying to say is I think I'd lose a lot of my Tour Edge golf balls.
Yes, you would. That's why
Steve would
those
hit
courses.
Steve would be finding fairways. I
No,
feel like
no, I don't
that's
know.
not your
Unless
spot.
Maybe with 3-wood, but not with the driver. I like courses I can spray it. Right? I love the link style with no trees, where I'm not hitting out of trees. I feel a lot more comfortable, and I hit the ball better when I feel like I can spray it. I hit more fairways that way, believe it or not.
I would
but if
say
you're a
you
little
got
bit
to.
off.
I would say the way this is. By the time this airs, this will be 2 Fridays ago. The way you were swinging your driver, this is the Callaway Elite, right?
Yes.
The way you were swinging that, if I were you, I'm hitting that at the Valspar because it was straight.
It was.
You were hitting that straight, and I feel like.
It's the weakest part of my game. I feel my.
Do you want to share
driver
who did
just,
the fitting? Do you want to talk about that just for a moment? Like you got fit, and I liked what I
Chicago
saw.
Bills Golf.
I liked what I saw out
Yeah.
of your
Thank
driver.
you. Mark Clavey owns Chicago Bills Golf in Willowbrook and also in Hanover Park. Hanover Park, you step outside his shop at the Green Valley Driving Range. You've got a big, huge outdoor driving range. If you go to Chicago Bills Golf in Willowbrook, you've got 2 indoor simulators. A guy named Ralph Hauk. And one of my guys that I work with full-time at Gallagher Insurance just went over and visited with Ralph, got fully custom fit with everything. He's like, Steve, knock it out of the park. I couldn't believe how great Ralph was, and Mark Clavey. And
It's clear they got you right. I'll tell you that they got your driver looked good.
The fitting was incredible. I mean, took a good hour. I think I went through 4 or 5 drivers. Try this shaft. Try this shaft. Try this head. Don't like that head. I went in thinking I wanted a different club.
Yeah,
and I wound up with this.
That's the best.
Yeah,
that means it just was done right.
Yeah, it was.
Going back to it was last season. We kicked off the year at Erin Hills, right? You and I.
Yes, we did.
If you bring that. I mean, there's no guarantees, and every day is different. But if you just bring that type of swing, I mean, for both of us, we go out to Erin Hills as some of our first golf of the year, right?
And I didn't get to warm up.
No, and I guess what I'm trying to say is keep swinging a little bit indoors, and we're gonna be outdoors soon. But it's nice to see that driver dialed in. But I've always thought, and we've played enough golf together, I like the way you get off the tee generally. Yeah.
Well, and he was hitting it very straight. I always say Matt thinks he's a 10 handicap, but if
10
I'm,
and a
if
half,
I'm an
Steve.
11 or fluctuate between 9.5 and 11, no, I'm more like a 20 if you think you're a 10.
You think I'm am I sandbagging?
You got a great swing. You're very controlled and everything. You really play well. I think a lot better than I do. And you're a whole lot younger, so you can hit it farther than me. But
sounds like some ageism going on here.
It is.
I don't know about
it's
that.
It's hard.
One
You
there.
do lose distance. I've lost distance, so I got to be cognizant of that because it's not. You don't hit the 7-iron and even the 9-iron as long as you used to hit.
Get you some more protein there, Steve.
I'm
okay?
lifting weights. I'm trying, but you can't beat age.
Before we wrap the show, I got to say one thing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm reaching here for the listeners. You can't see this, but I'm reaching for Lily's putter.
That's your daughter?
Yeah, no, I'm just excited because she will be turning 4 on St. Patrick's Day.
Already 4.
Nope.
Right.
She's. I've always called her the almost 4-year-old.
There you go.
Her birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, and it's so
birthday,
fun.
Lily.
It's so fun as she's getting older at this point because, yes, most of our time either on the putting green or at the golf factory is us running around and playing an arcade game, but
right.
she's starting to use the putter a little bit. So
nice.
it's just fun to
start them young.
Yeah, to
3
spend
years
time
old.
with Lily.
That's-
Almost 4 on the 17th here is when Lily turns that wonderful age of 4. Steve, why don't you wrap us up here?
Well, many thanks to the good people here at Ian Ryan Interactive, and Ian Ryan Productions does such a great job, led by Laird Crawford. We're at Laird's studio, Laird's pub. Beautiful. 4
How about that guy over
cameras.
there, too?
Will Ojeda does a marvelous job producing, shooting our show, editing. Also, thanks to Chris Pruner. Chris does a great job. So many thanks on behalf of Matt Smith. I'm Steve Cashel. Thanks for watching and listening to Kash and Matty Talkin' Golf.